ஒரு கைடன்ஸ் ஃப்ரம் தமிழ்நாடு ஏற்பாடு செய்த சிவாமுப்பனார் அவர்களுக்கும் வீரா வேணுகோபால் அவர்களுக்கும் நன்றி. அடுத்து இத்தருணத்தில் தளவாடங்கள் இதை பற்றி இந்த விழாவை எப்படி அமைச்சு ஒருங்கிணைச்சி கொண்டு வந்திருக்க சூழ்நிலையை சிவாமுப்பனார் அவர்கள் இவர்கள் ஸ்பீக்கர்ஸையும் வேலுவையும் வரவேற்று இந்த செஷனை ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுவோம். இதோ
மீண்டும் வணக்கம். ஃபாஸ்டா சொல்லிடுறேன். ஸோ நம்மளுடைய நோக்கமே ஏடிஏ அண்ட் ஃபெட்னாவுடைய நோக்கமே தமிழர்கள் சாதித்த தமிழர்களை மேலே கொண்டு வர்றது, அவங்களுடைய எக்ஸ்பர்டீஸை ஷேர் பண்ணுறது தான். ஸோ தேங்க்யூ வீரா வேணுகோபால் ஃபார் கிவிங் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி டு லீட் G10 டு ஐடென்டிஃபை தி ஸ்டார்ஸ் who are behind the stage. ஸோ அந்த ஒரு ஸ்டார் பொண்ணு தான் டாக்டர் சஞ்சீவி அவர்கள். He has a PhD degree in supply chain, and he was working at various high levels, including Arvind Mafatlal Group director and CEO. And he started his own logistic company 2003 இருந்து 2013 வரைக்கும். And அவர் இங்கே யூஎஸ்ல இருக்கிற நிறைய சக்சஸ்ஃபுல் பிஸ்னஸ் பீப்புள் அண்ட் இந்தியாவில் இருக்கிற டாப் பிஸ்னஸ் பீப்புளுக்கு எல்லாமே அவர் ஒரு மென்டார். ஆக்சுவலாக எங்களுக்கெல்லாம் ஒரு மென்டார். அண்ட் அதுவும் இல்லாமல் எங்களுக்கு இந்த 10வது உலக தமிழ் மாநாடு மிகப்பெரிய சப்போர்ட் பின்னாடி இருந்து சப்போர்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தாரு. ஸோ அதற்கு நன்றி. நமக்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்ணவங்க எல்லாத்துக்கும் ஒரு நன்றி தெரிவிக்கணும், அவங்கள மேலே கொண்டு வரணும். அது போக பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, நீங்கள் தமிழகத்தில் உள்ள ஒரு மிகப்பெரிய ஒரு முக்கியமான தமிழ் சேனலை ஸ்டார்ட் ரன் பண்ணி ஹேண்ட் ஓவர் பண்ணதே அவர் தான். ஸோ தமிழ்நாடு ஃபவுண்டேஷன் சென்னை சாப்டர்ல ரொம்ப நாள் அவர் கைட் பண்ணிட்டு மென்டாராக இருந்தாங்க. கரண்டாக விஐடி வெல்லூர் இன்ஸ்டியூட் ஆஃப் டெக்னாலஜி அட்வைசர் டைரக்டராக இருக்கிறாங்க. வெல்கம் டாக்டர் ஐயா வி சஞ்சீவ் அவர்கள். மாடரேட்டரா பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நம்மளுடைய சிகாகோ பொன் வேலு அவர்கள். ஏடிஏவுடைய லீட் இஸ் சேல்ஸ்ஃபோர்ஸ் குரூப். நிறைய டெக்னாலஜி ஈவெண்ட்ஸ்லாம் ஹோஸ்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கிறாங்க. லாஸ்ட் ஃபியூ வீக்ஸ் ஒரு வெபினார் கூட கண்டக்ட் பண்ணாங்க ஏடிஏ சார்பில் அண்ட் வெரி மச் இன்வால்வ்ட் in learning and giving back to the community as well. We welcome Velu and Dr. Sangeevi. Velu, it's your time now actually.
Vanakkam. So let's get to the topic here. We have very limited time. We are going to be talking about business opportunities in supply chain during and after COVID-19. I call this as a new normal. The things have changed. So I don't know whether we will ever go back to the old way of doing business or living. The things have changed. So when you talk about supply chain, what is supply chain? I just read it out from the dictionary. The sequence of processes in producing and distributing a commodity or a service. So today we have an expert in supply chain, Dr. Sangeevi Venugopal. He will be talking to us about the fundamentals of supply chain. How is it been evolving, and how is it disrupted, and what are the opportunities we have in the world of supply chain? Without further ado, I want to introduce Dr. Sangeevi to take it from here.
Thank you, Velu, and thanks for the organizers for inviting me to share my thoughts on supply chain and what are the opportunities that are available mainly in India, and it is true for the entire world. See, day to day, all of us use hundreds of products. Do you know how it comes? It's made in some part of the world and moved to millions of people across the world, actually. The movement of products, either planning, forecasting, transportation, warehousing, handling, and keeping the right product at the right place, in right quantity, in right quality, at the right price. That is the job of supply chain experts. This particular process started in late 80s, thanks to companies like Walmart and later Amazon. There are a lot of high technologies are being added to this. Can we take the next slide? Shiva, next slide. Yeah. So what I will do, as he said, we have got only about 12 minutes. I will talk about a little bit how the supply chain started since 90s. How does the business scene is changing over the years, either due to COVID or due to trade controls and trade disruptions, and how does it cause supply chain disruptions, and what kind of business opportunities we are getting because of these supply disruptions. Next slide. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah. See, I remember listening to Professor Moss Cantor of Harvard Business School in mid-80s, where she said, she has written a lot of books also, a child in India in a village wants to wear the same jeans like a kid in New York or Los Angeles is wearing, thanks to the media, the films that they see. That is what has started the commercialization and globalization of business. Added to these, all the world leaders want to meet the needs of their own citizens. So there is a pressure to get goods at the cheapest price for their citizens in the world. So what has happened is industry started moving where efficiency was lying. So industry, some places got closed, it got moved. So it moves to the cheapest places so that they can get goods at the cheapest locations and supply to all over the world. This is called global consumerism. Now, starting global consumerism has created a lot of problems for supply chain, because you need to move the goods, you need to plan it out. So that's where all the supply chain technologies evolved since mid-80s, and now it has reached its peak, and even specialized in terms of food logistics supply chain, pharma logistics supply chain, textile supply chain, automobile supply chains, and so many things. When it got stabilized, it got almost disturbed thanks to these COVIDs and trade barriers that are coming across the world. Just to give you an idea of the cost, in India, the logistics cost or supply chain cost is almost 14% of GDP. I think our GDP is about $3 trillion, and you assume 14% means is almost about $420 billion is the GDP of logistics cost of India. Whereas in USA, which is the more efficient system, the logistics cost is about 8% of GDP. So there are a lot of opportunities in India to bring down the logistics cost, which means there is opportunity for entrepreneurs, new technologies, new processes, new systems, and new techniques. Next slide. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. You have to go to the next slide. Okay, no problem. So what has happened with all this globalization? If we take today, 200 of the Fortune 500 companies are in Wuhan, the epicenter of the pandemic. Imagine if that place gets closed, what happens to all those products which these companies are supplying? In fact, China accounts for about 60% of global consumer products today. So anything that happens to that part of the world affects every consumer across the world, actually. In fact, in the third quarter of 2019, imports to USA was brought down by $90 billion. And most of the production got shifted to Vietnam, Taiwan, Mexico, Indonesia, and some to India. So this has made a lot of disruption in the supply chain, and companies have to look for new channels, new transportation systems. Now we talk of the generics medicines. India is the leader in world generics medicines, like paracetamol or Brufen. But we get the raw materials from China, which is now blocked. So Indian companies have to set up, and it takes about 18 months to set up a new chemical factory. Added to this, there are a lot of plant closures, cargo capacity constraints, border closures. So imagine what kind of pressures we are putting into supply chain. Only technology-based supply chain systems can tolerate or manage, can provide resilience to this kind of changes. Now, I think the toilet papers were rationed in some parts of the world like USA. Banana was not available in UK, I heard, for 3-4 days. So the globalized operations expose supply chain to regional problems. So that's where we have to get solutions, and people are getting solutions. Next. Next slide, please. If you see the world trade, which is about almost 20 billion, 22 billion trillion dollars, is going to be affected by at least $4 to $6 trillion because of the COVID, which means that the entire supply chain system is disturbed to the extent of 20 to 30%. Next. Next slide. Now, if you take specifically in India, you have the number one GDP in India is from Maharashtra, a lot of disturbances due to COVID. Then number two is the Tamil Nadu state. You just listen to them on the IT business. And Tamil Nadu, in fact, spends about 5% of revenue on medical care now. And after having closed the TASMAC shops, I don't know where they are going to get the revenue. It's mostly going to be deficit planning like anywhere else in the world. Next. Next slide. This is about the GDP contribution by various sectors. The major impact has been the service sector, which constitutes about 51% of GDP in India, which is into real estate, finance, hotels, and transport. And less impact in agriculture because thanks to the rural areas and availability of water and rain on time. Next one. Next slide. With this, we will go to the main theme, which is what are the opportunities in supply chain in India. Now, if you have to reduce the logistics cost from 14% to 10% of GDP, we have to really save about 120 billion US dollars. Imagine to save 120 billion US dollars, what kind of opportunities it can throw. India has got a logistics division which started in the ministry, Government of India, started in 2017. They have identified about 4 areas for improvement, which is making the supply chain predictable and visible, reducing the cost of inventory, reducing the cost of transport. Transport is almost 50% of the cost of logistics. And this can be done through consolidation. In fact, we have to learn a lot from countries like USA or Europe and use technology wherever it's possible. Like if you take Swiggy or Uber, the visibility is so good when they deliver that some item to your house. But the same visibility we don't get for when you move 1 million worth of goods in a truck. Can you do that? People do through tracking technology, but it needs to be much more durable and capable actually. In India, this is, while we have all these negatives and opportunity to save cost and improve customer service levels, India is the only country where idli can be, with $50 you order something, he comes and delivers at your doorsteps. Can this kind of services be extended to all types of logistics services? That is where the experts and entrepreneurs can provide solutions to this country. If you take grocery sector in India, the sale in India is about 1 trillion US dollars. It is being catered by 4 million Kirana stores, or the mom and pop stores in USA, or we can call it Nadar shops in Tamil Nadu. It is there in every road. 75% of the people don't use any technology. Can we provide technology to them? POS-based systems, specially designed, which is rugged. Of course, there is a lot of resistance for them to be willingness to use technology because they don't have the data to go to the outside world. But thanks to COVID, everybody wants to use technology now. They would like to take automatic orders and deliver, which is a great positive thing. The other item, the solid waste management, which is where I did my PhD, this is the reverse of supply chain management. You see, instead of taking product from one place and deliver to thousands, millions of places, you collect waste from millions of places and bring it to one center. In India, we do most of the things in a linear form. You collect waste and it gets dumped in some place. Can you make it circular? There is a tremendous opportunity with smart city programs by Government of India on waste management. It could be millions and millions of dollars in India. Yeah, next.
Dr. Sangeevi, in the interest of the time, we have a couple of questions. If you can wrap it up, that will be great.
Yeah, they're just 2 minutes. One slide before that. This is the most important. 2 minutes. The previous slide. The previous slide.
It's
no, the last but one. One before.
Maybe we can speak to it. Dr.
Yeah.
Sangeevi.
So the one is the software technology for risk minimization is a great opportunity which IBM has got. Sterling, Infor, MES, Blue Yonder. These are the software packages which many companies want to use. Now they are all being used by large corporates. This need to be brought to MSME, which is the backbone of Indian industry. Second, transport exchanges. There are many venture capitalists who provide funds to transport exchanges, which is connecting the truckers with the supplying companies, actually, which is being successful now. The fourth area is secondary consolidation, which is the last mile solution, which has got tremendous opportunity, where we have got examples in Nigeria and Indonesia, where drivers are connected with trucking companies. Then custom-made point of sales machines, which I said a little earlier. Government of India has come out with logistics parks across India to solve the first mile problem and the last mile problem. They need 50 acres of land, warehousing, truck parking, etc. are provided. They want to consolidate all logistics, whether it is agri-logistics or commodities, eliminate the first mile problem, and similarly eliminate the last mile problem for few. People have got licenses already to start logistics parks, and enough funding is there. And material handling system. India, if you take a farmer who buys a 100 kilo fertilizer bag, he gets only 98 kilos, 2 kilos lost in transit. Same thing for sugar. Is there good material handling system that are available, cheaper ones? You should eliminate 1% of GDP, and that's it. And there are things like Goldman Sachs have been funding a lot of logistics companies, so that is another investment company which you can approach.
Thank you, Dr. Sangeevi. One question for entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs. If you were to name top one area where we can start looking at an opportunity to invest, what would that be?
See, if you are looking for large investments, logistics parks is one of the good areas in India, actually, which could be in the range of 100 to 200 million US dollars. The land prices are very low now. It's a good time to buy land and set up a logistics parks. Many entrepreneurs in India are trying. Two, I am in some of the investment appraisal committees. I get a lot of proposals for consolidation of secondary transport. You know, the primary transport in India, you know, the factory sends it to depots, which is roughly 500 to 600 kilometers. If you service India with 5 factories. The secondary is taking from the depot, metro, to the smaller towns, which is about 200 kilometers.
Perfect.
There the load is very low. Where you think technology can consolidate, technology can provide visibility, and you need to talk to 3-4 companies of similar products, get them together, and you be the service provider. And there is somebody started actually. So that is another area we can do.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sangeevi, for your time. We really appreciate it. And Nandri, Waltuko.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nandri, Dr. Sangeevi. Nandri, Velu.
Thank you, Caldwell. Thank you. Thank you, Velu. Thank you, Shiva. Bye.
அடுத்து நிகழ்வு